Looking down at my hands, I knew I was going to fall. I heard a loud, and it hurt so bad. It was fully broken. Do try this at home. I think the limit doesn't exist. That's just me. Hello, lovely peoples. I hope that you all are doing very well. You and I are currently en route to the yoga studio where we're going to train some handstands. And if you're new here, or if the algorithm just happened to serve you this video, hello. I'm Ali, a group fitness coach and someone who enjoys challenging her body to learn weird stuff. I also happen to make my living teaching other people to discover all that their body is capable of. And check out this day today here in Brussels. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. It's a rare occurrence when we get sun like this. So I'm gonna be inside training, but maybe just a few moments to soak it up. Okay, so today I want to train a few different variations of forearm stand and handstand, as well as work on some drills to improve my strength and hone balance. And I also want to share some tips to help any beginners out there who may be inspired to start their own arm balancing journey. 4 tips to be exact. And before we start to boogie upside down, we need to warm up, obviously. So the following are a few drills I like to run through to prime the wrists, shoulders, core, and lower body to get to balancing upside down. All right, here's the deal with the warm-up. It's a non-negotiable. It's like eating your vegetables or brushing your teeth. Unless you're under 18 and still have bones made of rubber, then you might be able to get away with skipping drills like the one shown on screen. But then again, what's the rush? Why not spend 5 minutes priming your body and mind for what's to come? When it comes to skill training like the one I did this day, I know I need to prime the wrists, the shoulders, the hips, and the spine. The wrists and shoulders will be bearing weight, so I do a combination of strengthening exercises and mobility moves to warm them up. On this day, I also wanted to work on different entries to handstand, as well as some variations of back bends. So the hips and spine needed some love too. There's a fine line though between being properly warmed up on one side and fatigued on the other. In the warm-up, you want to take the joints through their full range of motion and maintain a steady breath throughout. Save the taxing, skill-focused exercises for after. A few of my go-to exercises in a warm-up will be copied in the description box below. So the first beginner tip I would like to share with you all is don't rush. And I think that this point would be better illustrated with a story. Once upon a time, I was living in Prague, Czech Republic, 10 years ago to be exact. I saw a lot of people doing handstands and forearm stands and all of this crazy stuff online, and I too wanted to join the tribe. So one day I took myself to a yoga class at Prague Yoga Collective. They are still a wonderful studio in Prague with many different locations. The class was really full, the mats were really close together, and during the class we had some time to practice handstand. And at the time, I was not very strong, or not strong enough to go into the handstand well. And I didn't have the control or the experience or the balance to really hold the handstand, let alone in a room full of other people. So as I kicked my way up, I stuck the balance for about 0.2 milliseconds. And then looking down at my hands, I knew I was going to fall. I saw all the people around me, and I didn't want to fall on them. So instead, I kind of contorted my body to fall into itself. The result was really not pretty. I heard a loud, and my toe was in excruciating pain because the way I had contorted myself led me to fall directly on my left big toe. And it hurt so bad, it was fully broken. And so I looked down at my toe, and instead of going in a straight line, it was in a 90-degree angle to the left. And in my shock, I thought, oh, that's not how it should be straight. So I tried to pop it back into place. Did not go very well. Anyway, long story short, I excused myself from the class and went straight to the emergency room to find out that they can't really do much for a broken toe. So, what is the lesson we learned from my tale? Don't rush. I know it's tempting from firsthand experience to want to put yourself in these positions, to want to balance upside down, but believe me and my big toe, that it's worth taking the time to learn the basics, to develop strength and body awareness and control, so that when you do finally go upside down, you have the confidence and balance to support your body there safely. Now, I am not telling you to go out there and break your toe for sure. I do not recommend it. It was highly painful. But I do also think that whenever we learn a new physical skill, a few bruises and bumps are inevitable. And it's a great reminder, and this will serve as a lovely reminder to not let my ego talk me into doing things that I am not yet ready for. Since that occurrence, since that little incident, I have adjusted my training to be much more progressive, slow and progressive, because building strength and balance and proprioception takes time and consistency. But again, it's not a fatal thing. It also, I think, helps you realize that your body can be injured and it's not the end of the world, that you're not made of glass, and that all of these things accumulate to your life story. So my broken toe is now part of my story, and it's something that I wouldn't really take back. I know that that's weird to say, but it's part of my handstand journey. So this is kind of a morbid way of saying you're going to get hurt, and that's also okay. What doesn't kill you hurts like hell, and then probably makes you stronger. And the story of how I broke my toe in Prague leads us nicely on to tip number 2, which is to honor the basics. I know it's not the sexiest stuff to spend time practicing mobility drills or do flexibility exercises or to build strength slowly, progressively over time, but trust me and my big toe that it's doing these kinds of things that is going to make you strong and keep your body safe over time. So my recommendation for you is to spend a little bit of time practicing each day or a little bit of time each week and let that just accumulate, because it's better to spend a little bit of time frequently than 1 or 2 hour chunks of training sporadically. And over time, as you start to log hours in these positions, you're going to notice how your body feels and how it reacts to these different positions, how they maybe start to become easier or a little bit more comfortable. What starts as your whole body saying, "What is this? It's super uncomfortable," will slowly over time become more familiar. And the last point on this is to remember to breathe. I know that sounds like a total Captain Obvious moment. As long as you can continue to control your breath, the rest of your body will follow. I would recommend that you proceed with caution. Move slowly and in a controlled way into these new and often uncomfortable positions, making sure that you can keep your breath steady. Because if you can continue to breathe steadily throughout, you're going to be okay. It's often when we have a shock to the system and we hold our breath or we go too deep too fast that, injuries can happen. And if you're unsure of where to start, or you just like a little bit more guidance, then you happen to be in luck, dear viewer, because I recently released a 4-week completely free inversion guide. In it, you'll find drills to build strength, mobility, and body awareness for things like crow pose, forearm stand, headstand, and handstand. You can find a link to that in the description box below. It's important that you follow a program because 1, it gives your training some guidance and a little bit of structure. And 2, you'll be able to track your progress over time, increasing the difficulty and or reps or amount of time upside down, because that is what's going to set you on the right track. If you're just following the same routine every day without making it progressively more difficult, you're not really going to go anywhere. And I account for that in this program. So again, it's all going to be linked down below. And the 4th tip I'd like to leave you all with today is something positive, which is to fall. Do try this at home. And I know that the fear of falling is what stops a lot of people from pursuing skills like this, like the handstand or different arm balances. And I completely get it. And maybe my Prague story completely put you off and you're gonna click away from this video and not ever try it. And that would be a shame. I think that falling is an invaluable part of the process. It's also kind of unavoidable. And if you're really scared of it, then there are a few things that you can do, like practicing against the wall or stacking the deck in your favor, lining your area with cushy things to break the fall. Or starting with a lower stakes arm balance like crow pose or headstand is going to be a little bit less scary than handstand because you're closer to the ground. So in my experience, it doesn't hurt that much when you fall out of poses like that. But I also want to encourage you to fall, to fail. because it's only when you push into that realm of newness, that when you really challenge yourself to do something that you haven't done before, that you learn what you're capable of. And as I said earlier, we're not made of glass. It's okay to bang yourself up a little bit, to get a few bruises, and maybe those bruises will help remind you that you're learning something new, that you're trying to push yourself out of your current domain of competence to learn a cool new skill. And I think that as we can accumulate those kinds of experiences and prove to ourselves that we are strong, that's what life is about, and it builds confidence and it builds a good story. It makes you proud of yourself. That's at least been my experience. I am proud to have pushed myself to learn these new skills, and I'm so proud when I see my students take them on as well, because I know that there's something happening inside of them. It's not just the physical thing that they're doing, it's that they are quieting that voice of self-doubt, because everyone has that little voice that says, no, don't do it, you're gonna fall, you're gonna hurt yourself, you can't, you're too weak, da-da-da. Yes, we have that, it's part of us. And also, you can work against that and say, but what if I just try? What if I just try to push a little bit harder? What if I try to test my balance a little bit more? What would happen? Maybe I fall. Okay, I'm not gonna die because of it. Or maybe I'll just see that I can do the cool thing and that I can be strong. And I've said it before on this channel, but I really think that it starts there with the body. And then if you can prove your physical competence, it just has so many positive knock-on effects to other areas of your life. And where else can you show yourself that you are strong and test your current capabilities? I think the limit doesn't exist, but that's just me. I think that's actually a very good point to end today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me and for accompanying me on this arm balance training. I will link to all of the drills that I did in the description box below, and also to the free handstand program. You can check that out. If you have any questions or any stories of your own that have, enriched your life, or just that you feel like sharing, then please drop them in the comments down below, or send me a message over on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. I'm wishing you a lovely rest of your day. Happy training, and I'll catch you back here in my next video very soon. Ciao.